The price of Bitcoin right now is $18,600, but the price of Ethereum is $3,700, and it continues to pump. Stonksy has been on a mad one recently. It has been generating some heavy profits on the 5-minute, 4-hour, and 1-hour time frames. If you don't already have Stonksy, you should check it out. But we'll talk about that more in today's video, because today I'm doing something pretty cool. We're starting off in a $10,000 to $1 million trading challenge. You could follow along with $1,000 if you wanted to, and do a $1,000 to $100,000 trading challenge. Either way, the goal is 100x. And in the past, when I've tried to do these things, we've generally managed to complete it in the span of about 3 months. And if you want to get involved in that, I'm going to show you how. It doesn't cost a penny in today's video. I mean, it does cost a penny because you've got to put your own money down to do the trading challenge, but I don't want any of your money. Either way, ETH is up. Bitcoin is sideways. However, the entire crypto market is taking an absolute lump out of Bitcoin right now. Ethereum is really cutting into Bitcoin's dominance. This is the biggest drop in Bitcoin dominance that we've had in a very long period of time. Like, this past week has been intense for a droppage in Bitcoin dominance, which is good and bad. It's bad because it probably means that you didn't buy enough altcoins during the dip. It's good because it probably means that we're about to make a lot of money with an altcoin season. So it's time for me to stop being an idiot and shorting the market. So starting out today, I've got some short positions open. However, I have been taking some profit on these short positions. I've got an Ethereum short position and a Bitcoin short position. I've taken 20k on the Bitcoin, 15k left to take, and I've taken 6k on this, and now I'm 12k in a loss because ETH pumped up very significantly again today, making another 5% gain. These 5% gains daily, at some point they'll stop, but for now, ETH is ripping. And for me, this trade here, although it looks quite large as far as a short position, it looks like I've opened it recently. I actually haven't. I had this short position open from down here, and earlier today I just dollar cost averaged in theory. We'll have probably a drop off later in the evening that'll allow me to take no loss on this position, so I won't actually lose any money. I just dollar cost averaged the position up, hope for a bit of a drop down, close it out, and then we'll all be good. Either way, my mind is heading back in that bullish direction again, but predominantly to do with altcoins, less so to do with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin will have its up days, but altcoins, they're going to be the things that change your life. They're going to be the things that we actually trade in the $10,000 to $1 million trading challenge. So how can you get involved in that? What you need to do is go to the link in today's video description and sign up to Blowfin, where they'll give you a bunch of free money if you make a deposit and place a few trades. Once you've reached a trading volume, I can't remember specifically what it is, but you'll find out when you click on that link. When you make an account, make a deposit and place a trade, you'll be up for grabs a bunch of different deposit bonuses. At the same time, we're taking this challenge out on Blowfin, and you can follow along by joining the group that I have on Telegram that you'll find linked in today's video description, or join the Crypto Saving Expert Discord group for £20 a month. You can do that using code CSE80 and going to the Crypto Saving Expert link in today's video description. But right now, looking at this, Bitcoin is going sideways, and if we manage to crack this line here, which really isn't that much higher than where the current price of Bitcoin is. Sorry, we'll go over to this and pull Stonksy off the chart for a second, although it has been doing an amazing job. Let's just look at this and let me do some analysis rather than just relying on Stonksy. We can see here that Bitcoin is likely to make another attempt upwards here at 119,500. At the point where we're breaking 119,500, the last level of which we've got to break before it's really up only is 121, basically $121,000. At the point where you're breaking $121,000, sky becomes the limit, and the new target becomes $135,000. And if you can catch a $10,000 move on Bitcoin, then to be honest, it makes it the easiest and fastest $10,000 to $1 million challenge ever, because basically we'll come up and hit this line up here somewhere between $135,000 and $140,000, which will be the ultimate top for Bitcoin for probably a while. If you look at the chart here, where we're getting those levels from, if it does want to load, there we go. You can see that the top there, and pretty much probably the top up here, somewhere around 140. Whether we get rejected here on Monday is an interesting question, and it's something that we've got to be pretty alert to. And it's one of the reasons why I've been in these short positions for a while now, just because at some point I really do believe that they are going to pay, but I am losing confidence in them. And although I've taken some profit on them, I don't know about holding them open for a long period of time, because I look at stuff like this, like SAY, for example. I hold about $350,000 of SAY. If we go over to the daily chart on SAY and we look at it and we zoom out and we go, hang on a second here, SAY could be about to break this downtrend that it's been in for such a long period of time, and it might end up at $5. And currently it's at 36 cents. And when I'm looking at these altcoins, I've brought this up a while now. These altcoins, some of them have been ripping already, like SUI. SUI is already up pretty good, to be honest. If we look at it on the weekly chart here and just do a bit of a zoom out, SUI is basically at these all-time highs already. SUI will probably rip up to like $12 over the next few weeks if this altcoin bull run can sustain. But that means your littler ones, like say, will have more of a multiplier on top of their current price, which makes me very, very, very bullish on them. At the same time as saying all that, we do have to be aware of a couple of different things, such as the target rate probabilities for the Fed meeting that is coming pretty soon, 30th of July, actually my birthday. You can see here, everyone's expecting a rate cut this month. It won't happen. Think of it like this, right? Imagine that you're Jerome Powell and the president is slating you, calling you an idiot, calling you a scammer. What are the likelihoods that you're going to resign? Zero. You're going to stick it out till the very, very last second, and you're going to do everything you can to dig your feet in, basically, because at the end of the day, Trump used to call him a genius. Trump is the guy that elected him, and Trump has now turned his back on him because Jerome's trying to do the right thing by holding these rates back to support the economy, because tariffs, they're not quite sure how it's going to affect the US economy. Trump, at the end of the day, wants to create loads of inflation by printing loads of money, and that'll ultimately cost average working people more because they're going to lose a bunch of money. Always, when you have rich people getting richer, poor people are getting poorer, and the wealth gap is increasing. And that's what happens when you print money. Trickle-down economics doesn't work. If you print money and poor people spend it, who do they spend it with? They spend it with rich people, because rich people are the people that own the businesses, and then the rich people put it in banks and stocks, so they go up, that's great, but the average working man doesn't hold stocks. He just lives paycheck to paycheck, so he isn't really benefiting, which is the strange thing about all of this. So basically, the US economy doesn't look that great right now. However, this is looking pretty also not great for Bitcoin. But with also some things that are looking pretty decent for Bitcoin, such as we've got all these liquidations up here at like 111,000, 112,000. We also have a big one down here around 103,000, which is something to be aware of. If it starts dropping, it'll drop aggressively and then bounce just as aggressively as it's dropped. So it doesn't really concern me if we were to have a drop off. It'd just be a buying opportunity at the end of the day. We are pretty much in a confirmed bull market right now, so I wouldn't really be trying to bet that hard against the trend. All I'm trying to do with this is get out, basically. I don't want to lose the 12K that's there, so I'll just wait 5 minutes and hopefully the price drops $30 and then we're all good. When it comes to Ethereum, however, we've also built up a bunch of liquidations down here. So for example, if we start dropping below my entry here, I might just hold on to it for 5 minutes just to check that it might just fully nuke down to these levels, because there will be a lot of leverage build up right now. And one of the ways that we can see that leverage build up is if we go over to the top traders on Hyperliquid, and we can see that currently 81% of people are long and only 19% of people are short. Most people are taking out long positions right now. That works for a while, but that number has been like that for a while now as well. And that generally, when it ends, I'm not saying it's going to end soon, but what I'm saying is when it ends aggressively, it ends violently. They call it the stairs up and the escalator down. Or elevator. I can't remember which one's which, but the one that just goes in a straight line down. Stairs up, elevator down, escalator. I don't know. Either way, like this, then like this. That's what happens when you have such a long build-up. However, there's no telling how long you can have that long build-up. You know that they're going to get liquidated eventually, but you don't know when. And you've got to be very cautious of that. So better not to bet against a trend like an idiot like right now. Like me. Better not to bet against the trend, though. Better to go with the trend. Because currently, we're looking at this right now. Bitcoin as a search term isn't drastically increasing. But altcoins are. Altcoins are about to make a new high this next week in terms of Google Trends. Search volume on Google for altcoins has never been higher than what it's going to come in at this week. Now, that's astounding, is that? That's amazing. And it typically means that an altcoin bull run is very much on the cards. If we look at Solana as well as a search term, it is starting to loop back around. Solana's getting more popular again. This is one of the key reasons why I'm so bullish on CHIPPY, because I know that the liquidity pool for CHIPPY is going to do big numbers pretty soon, because if Solana does a 30% gain, that gives CHIPPY a 30% gain, which then stimulates more volume. Now, this liquidity pool's got 144k of Solana in CHIPPY right now, so that could be 200k next week, which would give us 400k in the liquidity pool, and that will give us a market cap around $8 million, something like that. However, I'm also buying $3,000 every single day of this coin, so it don't matter. To me, the short-term price action means nothing, because ultimately, at the end of the day with CHIPPY, I'm so confident that we land somewhere up here in the not too distant short term that, I mean, I think if you're selling now, you're an absolute moron because you're not listening. Again, I've got 500k that I'm going to dump into this over the next few weeks. So, CHIPPY. That's one of my biggest bets, this market. Either way, and where do you buy CHIPPY? You buy it on Phantom Wallet via Jupiter. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. If you don't bother, or at least do some research before you do it, because if you don't know how to buy it, you probably shouldn't be buying it. It is ultimately speculative, and it's not financial advice. Now, when it comes back to Ethereum, Ethereum's been on a ripper. Stonksi's been doing good. Amazing long position, amazing short position, another amazing long position, and a really good long position here. Stonksi has been ripping it. And as I said, Stonksi, you can now get it right now with a discount, because I managed to get my staff to send me the discount codes for it, which means that we can give you, if you really, really want it, for one time only, and this discount code ends within 24 hours. If you want it, I'll give you 40% off for 1 month. So if you go on the monthly plan here, I'll give you 40% off it if you use code STONKS40. It looks like this on the thing. Hang on, Stonks, like this. Let me just show you there. Stonks40. That's for the different discount codes that you can get on the various different things. CSE10, Loyal 20, SW10, Bot 20, and Stonksy 40. That gives you 40% off Stonksy. So if you want 40% off that, it makes it £100 to try it. You should try it, because honestly, you'll make a lot more money using it. Now, coming back to the prices here. It looks decent. How high can it go? ETH, for me, I am pretty confident at this stage that I need to be getting out of these positions as soon as possible, because I'm pretty confident that ETH is going to try and make another new high up here where that red line is sitting on Stonksy. Can you see that? There's a very faint red line going across the screen there. That becomes the new target at least. Oh no, it's higher than that. You can actually see it on the camera. That one there, that dotted line, just that little dotted line, that's where we're going to come up to. And that would be at $4,120. That is one of the reasons why I want to get out of these trades as quick as I can, because, yeah, they're not the best ones, are they? But we are starting that $10,000 to $1 million trading challenge. So if you want to join with that, but you need to be on Bluefin. Final link for Bluefin in today's video description. Deposit $1,000. Join me on the challenge. Deposit 10K. Join me on the challenge. But all of the updates for that will be in Crypto Saving Experts Discord group, of which you can join using code CSE80 on the Crypto Saving Expert website. Make sure you go on the monthly plan. Very important to go on the monthly plan, not the annual plan. It's 80% off the monthly plan. Do that. Anyway, that's where we're at for now. Hopefully, we get a very bullish open in the new week. We'll see how things go, and I'll be up to update you tomorrow morning as soon as I possibly can. One of the key things to be watching right now is, of course, there is more money entering into circulation. This is the M2 money supply. There is more tether entering into the crypto market. It continually increases. And so long as these lines are going up, you'll probably see the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and everything else generally going up as well. The market looks very healthy right now, despite the overall market looking terrible. So it's a weird one. Honestly, it's one of the weirdest bull markets ever. We don't really have the correct setup for it, but people seem to be going for it anyway. And at some point, you got to lean into it. You got to buy into it, because if you don't, you're going to miss it. So on that note, guys, have a great day. Drop a like on this video, because I forgot to say that so far. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a comment down below. Very importantly, you do at least leave a like, because not enough people like the video, so they don't get in YouTube's algorithm. And again, leave a comment down below, because I want more real comments than I do bot comments, because I can't fight the bots. Please don't reply to the bots, but yeah, please leave me some comments down below. I'm interested to have a chat with you. What do you think is going to happen to the market? But on that note, see you in a bit. Have a nice day. Deuces.